So I'll introduce myself real quickly. So my name is Stacy Parrish. I'm a local artist and a broadcast professional, but most importantly, I am an educator and a programmer at the Paper Discovery Center. I'm really passionate about, thank you, my one fan, I appreciate that. 2 fans, woohoo! Really passionate about the mission at the Paper Discovery Center. Very excited to be here for Honors on the River, the ceremony formerly known as the Hall of Fame dinner. Tonight we're going to be celebrating the stars of the past and the stars of the future as well. So without further ado, I am going to bring up our chairman of the board of directors of the Paper Discovery Center, Mr. Peter Allen. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Stacy. Welcome, everyone. We're so pleased that you've chosen to spend the evening with us. We think we have a great night lined up. Stacy said, my name is Peter Allen. I've been chairman now for about 18 months or so. And you might notice that this year's event is a little bit different. We hope you will view those changes as very positive changes. We want to create a very fun and engaging evening for you. And before we do anything else, I would like to acknowledge Maria Costello, our executive director, and the committee that put the plans together for this. So if you, and the staff, I should say, that have worked long and hard on making this all work out for tonight. So if you could just stand briefly, and we will give you a little acknowledgement. So Maria and committee and staff, thank you so much, guys, for what you've done. So you're going to see some changes this year. We think that's a positive thing. We hope you'll agree. I just want to say, if you see a change and you say, wow, that is a great idea, that's a very positive change, that's Maria and the committee, okay? If you see something and you go, oh my gosh, God forbid you don't like it, that was me, okay? Just to be clear. But in all seriousness, we made changes because we thought it was appropriate to change things up a little bit. We both wanted to create a fun and engaging environment for you. We want you to tell your friends and say, wow, that was really a great evening, and we want to have twice as many people next year coming. So we hope that's one of the outcomes here. We have a lot to celebrate, don't we? We have thank you in the front row. We have a phenomenal legacy, both in this area, in this industry. We have a phenomenal legacy with the Hall of Fame. We have a lot to celebrate. And tonight, that legacy grows as we add 3 new inductees to the Hall of Fame. And that's a big part of what's going to happen tonight. But we also want to draw your attention tonight. And you're going to hear kind of 2 themes. I would describe them as legacy, which is about the past and about the people that have come before, about the people that have paved the way for us. But I also want to use the word inspiration and about future and about the next generation. And so I want to strike a balance here tonight and make sure that we do justice to those that have come before. We truly honor those who are going to be inducted. But we also think about the next generation and the generation that will become the great leaders of the future, the people who become the future Hall of Fame inductees. And so in doing that, what we want to do is draw attention to the mission of the Paper Discovery Center and what we're doing there. Maybe that's not something you're all familiar with, but what we really want to do is be a spark and an inspiration to the kids who come through there, get them excited about science, get them excited about making paper, get them excited about the possibility of a career in science, technology, engineering, things like that. Does that sound like a worthy mission to you? Yes? Okay. All right. Good, because all of you people that clapped, you need to be supporting that mission, okay? So that was a trick, don't say. But you're going to see some various opportunities around the room tonight, kind of fun ways in which you can support that mission. But it certainly goes beyond that. And we, if you're excited, as I am, about that mission, about what we're doing, talk to us. We would love to talk to you about the creative ways that we can partner together, the ways that you might want to to sponsor that mission and see kids moving in that direction. So that's all very exciting. So with that being said, you may have noticed already one of the big changes this year is that we have an MC for our event, and that's Stacy. And so we're excited about that. I'm going to turn the mic back over to Stacy, and she's going to lead us through all the fun things that are going to be happening tonight. So Stacy, where'd you go? Right here. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. So, celebrating the stars of the past and the lights of our future. At the PDC, what we really believe in are people and people's stories, because people's stories matter. And we are going to be highlighting the stories of our inductees. We're going to be highlighting the story of our Doug Dougal Take Flight Scholarship Award winner, and also some stories of the different things that we do at the PDC, the programming that we put forward to help kids live up to their potential, because there are some barriers that kids need to break through, and with your help, we can do that. So lots of good stuff coming up. But first, we should probably eat, right? We've got some great food, and Angel is our best friend. He works here at the Red Lion. There he is. I'm told that he accepts bribes. If you would like your table to be excused first, you can. That's a joke. Thank you for getting the joke. I appreciate that. So, he doesn't really accept bribes, but he will be excusing the table. Bummer, right? He will be excusing the tables so that you all can go through and get dinner. So without further ado, you can sit tight, look through the program, see some of the different programs that we put on. I know on the back of the program there are some. There's also the Growing Together campaign on your table. Or you can stare lovingly into each other's eyes. That's fine, too. Without further ado, Angel is going to be excusing the tables, and let's have a wonderful dinner. So, how was dinner? Was it good? Good. How's dessert? Is it good? So, I just wanted to talk a little bit, because not only are we celebrating our honorees tonight and the 25th annual induction ceremony, we're also celebrating 15 years of education and innovation at the Paper Discovery Center, and it's something that we couldn't do without all of you. And here's why what we do at the PDC is so important. In 2018, we served over 100,000 people, a large percentage of which were children. And according to PBS Nova, by the time kids reach their 6th grade year, the discrepancy in educational opportunities and learning opportunities between kids who are born into a middle-class family and kids who are born into poverty is 6,000 hours. Kids have 6,000 more hours of educational opportunities if they're born into a middle-class family versus a family that's born into poverty. And poverty doesn't necessarily look a certain way. We have impoverished communities here in the Fox Valley, and what our partners do is they help us to bring opportunities and break down barriers and make sure that the only barrier to these kids' potential is their own imaginations. So this really highlights the importance of what happens outside of school. So we are just going to show you a little taste of the kinds of things that you guys all make possible by sponsoring our exhibits, our paper lab, our cardboard maker area, by sponsoring there are a few school districts that are sponsored by some of you. You help pay for the busing. Some school districts can't afford the busing to museums, can't afford admissions. So we're just going to show you a quick video as a thank you, and also to help inspire you as well. The things that I get to see every day that I have the privilege of seeing, we're just going to show you. Enjoy. Yeah. Thank you. And I have to say that last little guy, his name is George, and we had a Name That Robot contest. His mom won the Name That Robot contest, and when they came in to pick up their prize, it was one of the make-do kits that we have for sale back there. His dad shared with me that he gets bored with television, unlike my son, but he gets bored with television, and it was really nice that he was able to bring that home, and one of our sponsors helped to provide that make-do kit, which was a prize for him. We're about to get the program started again. Going to kick off the induction ceremony, and with that, I would ask that you give a warm welcome to a member of the selection committee, Mr. Jerry Ring.
Good evening. I'm not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be Dave Hollenberg, the chair of the honors committee or the selection committee. So in his absence, they've selected me. So I need to say that this is the 25th induction class. So we started in 1994 and have had induction classes ever since 1995. I believe I've been to all of them because at one time I was a faculty member at the University of Wisconsin Paper Science Department, and as they're doing over today on table 15, we have students from that program, the paper science program, here, and at one time I was responsible for driving them all over to Appleton until I retired in 2013, and then somebody had the brilliant idea of asking me to be on the honors committee, and so that covers me all the way up to 2019. So that's, we have one other member of the honors committee here, and that's Harry Spiegelberg. Harry, could you? Yeah. The selection process is very rigorous, and Harry has, throughout the years, kept it on track, right? And made sure that we were hard as we could be and very rigorous. And we take our job very, very seriously. So, with that, I would like to have introduce our first inductee of the night, Mr. Roberto Berardi. And let's watch Roberto's video.
Roberto Berardi has been nominated to the Paper Industry International Hall of Fame in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the industry. As a leader with innovative marketing strategies, he has served since 2017 as the honorary chairman of the European Tissue Symposium. Berardi was born in Brescia, Italy in 1947. After receiving a master's degree in electrotechnical engineering from Turin Polytechnic, he launched his career at the Scott Paper Company in 1973, showing positive effects of the Scott Casa paper towel in the Italian home. Berardi utilized new ways to introduce products to the consumer and helped Scott become the first company to advertise toilet paper on Italian television. His ingenuity led to the Space Saver toilet tissue, a flat roll which greatly increased efficiency of the product during shipping and also when stored. In 1977, Berardi accepted the position of marketing manager in charge of all tissue categories. Realizing the importance of female purchasing power, he decided to employ women to reach more consumers. As the Italian tissue market expanded, eclipsing other European nations, Berardi concentrated his talent on the Global Towel Task Force, helping other companies use the Italian market framework to expand. Berardi and his family moved through a series of European postings, both in Madrid as part of the Scott European Executive Committee, and then in London as the European President for Kimberly-Clark's Family Care. He retired from KC in 2005 in order to focus on the European Tissue Symposium. As Vice Chairman of ETS, he led the Tissue Category Growth Task Force. In addition, he brought his passion for teaching to industry managers, sharing his marketing and branding knowledge at the prominent business school ESCP Turin. In 2007, Berardi became the chairman of the European Tissue Symposium, a position he held until 2017, when he became the honorary chairman. His pivotal work with the ETS includes commissioning a study to examine hand hygiene in public restrooms. A comparative hygiene study looked at hand drying by paper versus by air blowers and found that paper towels reduced the number of airborne microorganisms. Berardi worked with students from the Bologna Academy of Fine Arts to develop cartoon contests to promote the superior hygiene effects of paper towels. His Away from Home task force is instrumental in helping tissue producers of all sizes. The cartoons have been used in ETS press releases and reach audiences around the world. Through his efforts, ETS has also secured a prominent social media presence. European Tissue Symposium has focused on creating a lighter footprint for the paper industry with enormous worldwide benefits. Emphasis is placed on promoting recycling and responsible consumption. Roberto is married to Ursilia Rubiolo. Together they have two daughters, Dr. Lucy Berardi and Dr. Nicoletta Berardi. Welcome Roberto Berardi into the 25th induction class of the Paper Industry International Hall of Fame.
I would like to make three different thanks tonight. One to the Scott Kimberly-Clark team, and in particular to my old boss, Paolo Forlin, a tough cookie, but deeply committed not only to succeed what as a company we were doing, but also extremely capable to understand the aptitudes and abilities of his own team. One thank to my beautiful wife, Ercilia, who has fully embraced my choice, once retired from Kimberly-Clark, of working for the European Tissue Symposium to pursue with my passion by supporting the tissue categories, a year of a retirement made of leisure and relax. And finally, I would like to sincerely thank the sponsors which have proposed and the jury which has accepted my induction to the Hall of Fame of the Paper Discovery Museum. It is with great hope my presence here today, the values shared among you and the honor to be part of this amazing museum will keep supporting the tissue categories for a very long time throughout all coming future generations. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
This is an envelope. And since this is the paper industry, a paperboard box.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Okay. Our second inductee of the night is Donald D. Dick. And his son, William Dick, will receive his award. Could I have Donald's video, please?
Mr. Donald Dick was born in Edmonton, Alberta on December 18, 1923. He worked for the Powell River Company in the summers of 1947 and 1948, then returned the next year with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Alberta. This was the start of his 65-year career, mostly in the pulp and paper industry. Early on, Dick followed the advice of one of his university professors, who stated, "When beginning your career, move to a new job every 2 years to continue learning." The companies he moved to included H.A. Simmons Consulting Engineers, where he supervised the structural department, followed by the plant engineering office at Macmillan Bloedel Harmach Pulp Mill in Nanaimo, British Columbia, then to Northwestern Pulp and Power in Hinton, Alberta, where he was appointed plant engineer. In 1957, he moved to Eastern Canada, where he managed products for Power Corporation of Canada, then for Stone and Webster Canada. In 1969, he established his own consulting engineering firm in Toronto, which subsequently became known as Dick Engineering Incorporated. Don's son Bill joined the firm in 1976. While the firm began to diversify, Don continued to focus on the pulp and paper industry. At a time when the engineering firms were consolidating, Dick Engineering was able to compete with much larger firms by being a boutique offering to perform selected projects with great care, interest, and efficiency. To live up to this motto, Don researched the latest developments in the forest products industry so that the firm was able to provide state-of-the-art designs and stay ahead of the industry trends. While at Power Corporation, Don was responsible for the development of Kruger's Turcotte Mill in Montreal, which was one of the first container board mills based entirely on post-consumer recycled paper and harvested from a large urban center, often referred to as a mini mill. He went on to further this concept with smaller mills for Reed Paper, now Cascades, Sunoco, and Selby Paperboard, now Westrock. In the late 1980s, new regulations and public pressure to encourage the use of recycled fiber provided an opportunity for Don's firm to build on its experience with waste paper. Don became a well-respected expert on the de-inking and bleaching of white grades of recycled fiber used for newsprint, publication papers, and tissue. The firm also developed an expertise in paper machines, the selection, layout, and installation of new machines, as well as the rebuilding and conversion of existing machines. Using its knowledge and experience, the firm was able to design greenfield mills and mill conversions upgrades for clients such as Papelis Nationales, Kruger, City Forest, which is now Clearwater, Weyerhaeuser, Orchids Paper, Cascades, and ST Tissue, which is now TAC Investments. While Don's firm did work for many of the large established paper companies, the entrepreneurs that were able to create new businesses or redevelop existing mills held a special interest for Don throughout his career. In the case of the Pope and Talbot Mill in Ladysmith, Wisconsin, Don was able to steer the entrepreneurial development team away from its original concept of creating a market de-inked pulp mill, and instead redeveloping the mill to focus on tissue making using the latest technology. The mill became known as City Forest and was subsequently acquired by Clearwater Paper. The Abitibi newsprint mill in Pine Falls, Manitoba had been acquired by the employees and was struggling to sell its product because it lacked recycled content. Working with the employee group, Dick Engineering was able to play a fundamental role in the successful redevelopment of the mill. The employees were then able to sell the mill to Tembec, which eventually closed the mill due to the declining market for newsprint. In March 1951, Don married Jenny, a Norwegian-born registered nurse who has been the love of his life. In addition to his son Bill, they raised 3 daughters. Over his career, Don had professional affiliations with the Professional Engineers of British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec, as well as the CPPA and TAPI. Don worked on projects throughout Canada and the United States, His projects also took him to various other parts of the world, often accompanied by his wife, including Mexico, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Colombia, Chile, Venezuela, the United Kingdom, Italy, Spain, India, and China. After resisting offers from several larger firms, Don and Bill decided to sell Dick Engineering in 2013. The firm was sold to KSH Solutions of Montreal and became known as KSH DEI Solutions Incorporated, with Bill as the executive vice president and Don as a senior consultant. Dick Engineering had worked with KSH on a previous project, and Don and Bill believed it would be a good match for Dick Engineering's culture. Don retired in 2015.
William, could you come up and receive your father's award? We're done? Okay, very good. Would you like to say a couple words?
Yeah, I would. Well, I wasn't expecting that video, so my speech is completely screwed up. But anyway, Don's particularly proud of the work that he did in recycling, which I think you saw there. And the company today is working on a very exciting project at Green Bay with Myron Construction. And we're very proud to be associated with that project. Don would like to thank Sherrod Tack and Brian Crawford for his nomination. And Sherrod is the entrepreneur behind ST Paper and ST Tissue. He'd also like to thank Maria Costello, the executive director of the Paper Discovery Center and the Hall of Fame Honors Committee. Don believes that the paper industry is dynamic and progressive, and that he has learned a lot from the many people that he has dealt with in the industry. In particular, he wanted to thank our clients scattered throughout the world who have entrusted us with their important projects, the equipment suppliers who freely shared their technologies and expertise, and our staff at Dick Engineering, who are now part of KSH, who had a devotion to getting things right, with special thanks to Bob McNeely, Mark Keon, and Dan Archibald. Thank you.
Our final inductee this evening is Dr. Gordon A. Nichols. I'd like to say that he was my pulping and bleaching professor at the Institute of Paper Chemistry way back in 1974-75. I've got a little story to tell because I think it's worth mentioning. Dr. Nichols was a very, very tough professor, and we all trembled at having him in our thesis defenses. And he was in mine. And I came away from that shaken and perhaps upset. And it was a big snowy day, and my wife picked me up outside of Granite Auditorium in her car, which had become fully stuck in a snowdrift. And not only did I have to think about all these things that I'd just been through, but I had to push Mary's, my wife's car, out of the snowdrift. And so I got behind this car and started pushing, and Gordy just simply joined me shoulder to shoulder, and we got that car out of the drift. And you know, it's hard to have any bad thoughts or ill feelings to anybody that does that. And so I've always remembered that. That's the one major thing that I remembered, that Dr. Nichols was a good guy. So accepting Dr. Nichols' award is Veli Lapinoya. Could we please have his video, Gordy's video?
Gordon A. Nichols was born near Auckland, New Zealand in 1926 to Leonard and Minnie Nichols. Gordon enjoyed an idyllic childhood in a semi-rural area, growing up on a farm in Pukawa with his brother Trevor and sister Ruth. He attended a two-room elementary school, but was successful in obtaining a scholarship to the exclusive King's College boarding school in Auckland, where he excelled academically and trained for acceptance into the Air Force in wartime New Zealand, but was not required to serve. He qualified for university entrance at age 15, but completed an extra year of school due to his age. Nichols graduated from Auckland University College with his Bachelor of Science in Chemistry in 1945 and his Master of Science in 1946. He accepted an opportunity to study for his PhD, supported by a Duffus Lubecki Scholarship and then a University of New Zealand Research Fund Fellowship, and received his degree in 1949. He was subsequently awarded a Doctor in Science in 1985 on the basis of his outstanding research work, which included numerous technical papers and other publications and patents. After a period as university lecturer at Canterbury University in Christchurch, Dr. Nichols accepted a U.S. Public Health Service postdoctoral opportunity at the University of Rochester in 1950. It was there that he met his future wife, Mary, a native of Vermont. They married in Brattleboro, Vermont in 1952 before moving to London for a research position relating to the chemotherapy of tuberculosis at the National Institute for Medical Research at Mill Hill in London, United Kingdom. Dr. Nichols accepted an invitation to return to New Zealand in 1955 to work for New Zealand Forest Products, becoming chief research chemist as they expanded their research laboratory. Shortly after his return to New Zealand, he was seconded to the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, Division of Forest Products in Melbourne, Australia for 9 months. His achievements at NZFP spearheaded the utilization of abundant Pinus radiata, or Monterey pine, which was considered a difficult species to pulp. He succeeded in extracting turpentine commercially and pioneered a bleaching process that ensured the value of this species as a paper-making fiber could be unlocked in New Zealand and subsequently elsewhere in the world. He also developed bonding agents for particle board from bark extracts, for which a patent was awarded, and extraction of other chemical byproducts long before biorefineries were state-of-the-art. In 1960, Dr. Nichols was seconded to the University of California Forest Products Laboratory in Richmond, which not only gave him significant exposure to the U.S. pulp and paper industry, but also prepared him to lead the program to successfully convert the huge New Zealand apple export business from wooden crates to printable fiber board packaging. Dr. Nichols' international experience and success in practical research led to an invitation to join the faculty at the Institute of Paper Chemistry, which he did in 1966, soon becoming a professor of pulp and paper technology. Over the next decade, he continued to lead significant research in oxidative pulping and bleaching, taking into account earlier research into dry process hardboard manufacturing. A project with significant consequences was the evaluation of the suitability of Guaina arborea as the world resource for the innovative Yari pulp mill in Brazil. He also showed his flair as an educator with his A202 course in pulping and bleaching processes, developing from a minor elective to the must-do course at the Institute. He built on his extensive industry connections to take students out of the classroom and into the field to obtain experience with evolving technology. He also presented at a number of significant conferences. In 1976, by which time Dr. Nichols had also become group leader of the Chemical Processes Group Technology Section, he returned to New Zealand partly to support his aging parents, but also to work as a respected consultant for the next decade. He then retired to work further on his passion for genealogy, which has resulted in several publications. Dr. Nichols has been an enthusiastic hiker and fisherman, as well as an inspiration to his 5 grandchildren, all of whom have been encouraged to understand their international heritage and their part in a wide world through international travel, just as Dr. Nichols' daughters did. Perhaps unsurprisingly, his daughters all graduated with science-based degrees. Gordon and Mary reside in a suburb of Auckland and enjoy spending time with their daughters, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Sally, could you come up?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the international paper industry has been and continues to be a great industry. It has made tremendous contributions to humanity. It has attracted great people in the past and has the ability to continue to do so today. As evidence, take a look at the 165 or so inductees into the Paper Industry International Hall of Fame over the last 25 years. It is easy to see these individuals as the real pillars of our industry. I'm pleased and like to thank the Paper Industry International Hall of Fame for selecting Dr. Gordon A. Nichols as one of those pillars. My wife and I were fortunate to interact with Dr. Nichols from 1966 to 1971 at the Institute of Paper Science and Technology. Dr. Nichols was one of my thesis advisors. In hindsight, I recognize that what he was really doing was teaching me to think. Perhaps one of the most difficult skills to learn, but most critical for success. My wife, Judy, and I have inducted Dr. Nichols and his wife, Mary, into our closest circle of friends with most impact on my career and our family's success in life. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
I want to thank the video for reminding me about A202. It was a memory that had, until today, been erased. Could I have a round of applause for all three of our inductees? And now, Peter Allen will introduce the winner of the Doug Dougal Take Flight Scholarship Award.
Well, congratulations to this year's inductees to the Hall of Fame. You've certainly added to our great legacy, and we thank you for that. As I think about tonight, what we're doing tonight, if you want to summarize it, what we're doing is celebrating greatness, right? We're celebrating greatness that has been achieved, but also greatness that can be achieved and will be achieved if we nurture it and see to it that it happens. And that's what this award, the upcoming award, is all about. Starting last year, in addition to recognizing the Hall of Fame inductees as we've just done, we also chose to honor a student in the field of pulp and paper science and engineering, somebody that exemplified the qualities that we all knew and loved and admired in Doug Dougal. And many of you remember Doug. Doug was a founding member of the Hall of Fame, and he was a great man. He was somebody that we admire and we want to remember. And so this award is named in his honor. It's known as the Doug Dougal Take Flight Award. And it's really to recognize someone who demonstrates those qualities that we saw in Doug, and we believe as a result will have a great future in this industry or anywhere they go in life for that matter. And so we're really excited to do that tonight. I will tell you, I think the name is already in the bulletin or in the program notes, so it won't be a surprise. Our winner this year is Jessica Toko, who is a student at Western Michigan. I'll tell you a bit more about Jessica in a moment. But before I do that, I would like to thank Kimberly Clark and the Jenks facility in Oklahoma, where Jessica is currently interning. It says a lot that they chose to sponsor here so that she could be here tonight in person to accept that award. And I think that speaks volumes about how they value young talent. And I think it's a great example for everyone else in the room, because that's the kind of encouragement and prioritization that matters. And so we really appreciate that. So let me tell you a bit about Jessica. Jessica is a student at Western Michigan, as I mentioned, will get a BS in paper engineering, paper science and engineering. I spoke to Jessica on the phone. Several of us on the board interviewed a number of candidates, and she was clearly the winner. She's just, not only is she a good student, but she's a great person. She's a really outstanding young woman. My wife and I had breakfast with her this morning, and we got to know her a bit better. And if there's one word I would use to describe Jessica, it is enthusiastic. She is very excited about everything she's involved in. She's, I'd say, a young woman that's full of curiosity. She loves the sciences. When I asked her to tell me what it was like when she went into the mill where she's now working, when she saw some of the unique technology in that facility, the way she described it, I thought Doug Dougal would have loved this. She just had she was so effusive in her comments. She was so excited by the science. She was, I would say, just like childlike wonderment. So it was just really exciting to hear. She has a lot of energy, I'd say a healthy fearlessness in the way she approaches things. Ask her about the cosmetic line that she started, and she is truly fascinated by science. So we're excited to honor someone like Jessica, who's sitting over here with her mom, and we're pleased her mom was able to come. And we're going to ask Jessica to come up and accept her award in a minute, but Doug Dougal's son, Raj, will be presenting that award. And I want to tell you, we are going to be showing a short film clip afterwards, without introduction, after Jessica makes her comments. It's a clip of Doug Dougal receiving his award in 2014. So that's a nice way for us to remember Doug, and I know many of you in the room know Doug and knew Doug and remember Doug. So that will also happen after Jessica makes her comment. So at this time, I'd like to ask Raj to come up and officially present Jessica with her award, and then we'll let Jessica make a few comments. So thank you, Raj.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate tonight's inductees for their dedication to this industry. Your induction is a tribute to your hard work and contributions to this field. I'm very humbled and honored to present this award this evening. Congratulations to Jessica and her family. This is the second year that I'm doing this. It's good to see Katie here from last year. So she graduated from school and is now working in the industry. I think my dad would love that. So I think it was last summer when Maria approached me about honoring my dad. Thought it was a great idea. We discussed as a family to maybe attach a scholarship to it. If you guys knew my dad, you knew he loved students, he loved education, and he always felt with hard work and education you could succeed. The story goes in 1968, he landed here in Appleton. He claims to have had only $4.50 in his pocket. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he says. But through his hard work and dedication, this industry obviously provided a lot for our family. So as a small token of appreciation, it's our way of giving back to the industry that provided us a lot. I would also say that, being inducted in the Hall of Fame and everything, he has a great professional legacy. But I think his biggest legacy, if you talk to him, would be his family and most of all his 7 grandkids. So I'm happy to share this night with my daughter, Jenna. So, congratulations, Jessica, and it's my honor to present the Doug Dougal Take Flight Award to her.
Did we forget something? I think we need to be holding the award here. So. That's more like it. Okay, fantastic. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jessica, the microphone's yours. Please share with us your thoughts.
Thank you all so much. I am honored to be a recipient of the Doug Dougal Take Flight Scholarship Award. Doug serves as a huge inspiration to me as a student. There is no better example of someone who has used his true passion for the industry to accomplish so many great things. The paper industry has been such a life-changing experience for me, primarily because of all of the wonderful people that I've met so far. I am so thankful for each and every one of you that I've met. The industry is so welcoming and promising to a young engineer like myself. I'm incredibly excited for what my future holds and the impact that I can make through paper. Again, thank you all so much. Thank you, Raj and Jenna, and your dad especially. Thank you to the Hall of Fame board. You are also important to me, and I'm honored to have this scholarship. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a lucky guy, and my wife will support that. I'm a product of people helping people. Without your help, I would not be where I am. If you keep working hard, I'll keep getting the credit anytime I can. That will be great. It has been a great 50 years in Appleton area, a paper journey for me. Thank you all for giving me and my family a chance.
So, can we have another round of applause, not only for our stars of the past, but also our lights of the future in the form of Jessica and also for Doug Dugal.
Again, thank you, all of you, for coming. I hope you've had an enjoyable evening. I hope you've been challenged to, well, you've become aware, if you weren't already, about the important mission that we have at the PDC in addition to the honoring our inductees tonight, and I hope that's been a great experience. So have a great rest of the evening, and please, Maria wants me to say something. Come pay for your basket. Yes, please settle up in the back for your baskets if you won something. That would be important. And please consider partnering with us. You know, we're doing something important. You've seen how we're reaching kids. We really want you to be a part of that. So if you're not already involved, get involved. And if we reach out to you, please let's talk and figure out how we can partner together. That would be wonderful. Thanks so much and have a great evening.